I will say majority of my time in South Africa has been a great experience. I was living in Johannesburg, as you guys know, and I've relocated to Port Elizabeth. Now, Port Elizabeth is a little different than Johannesburg. It's nice, it's quiet, it's peaceful, but it's just different. So I'm gonna get right into it and let you guys know my problems with Port Elizabeth. Okay, so listen, here in Port Elizabeth, I'm staying in Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant is an area where it is majority, how do I say, whites, and you have a few blacks here and there in Mount Pleasant. It's a pretty nice area. And so my first incident was when I went to a local bar here in Mount Pleasant, where it's majority of white people that go to this bar. And I went there to get a drink, so I sat outside in the area and was waiting for the server to come get me drinks. She didn't come get me drinks. She went to every other table except mine. So I waited about 15 minutes. Then I went inside and spoke to the bartender and said, "Hey, are you guys serving outside?" And he says, "Yes, she hasn't came to you. I've seen you out there." I said, "No, she hasn't come to me. I'm waiting for her to come to me. Whenever she can come to me, I would appreciate it." And as soon as I walked into this bar, it was just like, I felt like I didn't belong there, which is very strange with me being in Africa, that I felt like I didn't belong in this bar, right? So she finally comes to me. She apologized. She saw me. I guess she just didn't really want to serve me. So, you know, that was just one little incident that I dealt with. And, you know, I brushed it off because I once was a server. And, you know, sometimes you just happen to maybe overlook other tables. So I brushed it off. I had my one drink. I tipped her and I left. So now about 2 days ago, I went to this Chinese shop where they sell, you know, bread, drinks, whatever, chips, whatever you want to get from there. So I was there trying to buy myself some candy. So the candy's in the front by the register, and a white gentleman happened to be behind me. And while I was debating on what little candies I wanted to buy, I told the gentleman behind me to go right ahead. So he proceeds to go on, gets his pack of cigarettes, pays, and the Asian lady says, "Thank you, have a good day." So then I finally grab my candy, and she's just looking at me, you know, whatever. Give her my candy, and I proceed to pay. And then she turns, and when I get my change back, she drops it on the counter, and you know, that's fine. So after I grab my change and I'm about to make my way out, I was just waiting on a "thank you, have a good day." So I look and I said, "Oh, I can't get a thank you." She goes on and says, "I don't need your money." What? I'm like, "What do you mean? I don't need your money. I don't care for you coming here." And I said, "So I can't get a thank you, and this is how you're going to talk to a customer, because I'm just asking to get the same treatment that you gave this gentleman in the store." So she says, "You know what? I don't have time to argue with you. Fuck off." I said, "Excuse me." She says, "You heard me. Fuck off." So now her husband proceeds to come from around the back because he hears a commotion, and he comes out, and I said, "Hey, you gonna let your wife talk to me like this? This is how you guys treat your customers?" He says, "I don't care what you have to say. Like she said, fuck off." So I said, "Yo, do you realize this is South Africa? Do you realize that you guys are guests in this country?"
This was very disrespectful. My hair is dirty. Do I have beautiful hair? Is this hair beautiful? And also, do I have a beautiful skin? Do you love the black beautiful skin that I have, or that Africans have? Yeah, apparently some people don't like this hair, and they don't like this skin. Yeah, I don't know why. Also, they also don't like these eyes. They say we are lower grades. They say Africans are lower grades. Do you consider Africans lower grades, as they say it? Because humans should not be classified as animals. We are not. We should not follow any pedigree That's not something that we do with humans, we do with animals. Apparently, some people in China, a Chinese in South Africa, or rather Chinese people in South Africa, have been racially profiling people and they're looking down upon the dominant people of South Africa, which of course is the black people. They are racist towards the black people, and it's not good. If you are in someone's territory, respect them, respect those individuals, because you are at their place, they are not at your place, and that is how the law of the land goes. South Africa is holding South Africa has a number of people. We have the Africans themselves, we have the Europeans. In Europe we have the British and the Afrikaners, people from Dutch, people from Netherlands, if you like, Holland, and also Chinese people have been showing interest much lately in Africa. We know the story, how it goes, right? But they're trying to turn Africa into China. Africa can't be China. The same way I always tell black Americans they can't turn Africa into USA. The Chinese, you can't also turn Africa into China. Africa is Africa, China is China. When you are in Africa, respect the Africans. That is something you have to learn the hard way. So there's this video that I've just shown you where a brother was racially profiled, and I want us to watch this video, then I'll give you my thoughts towards the end of the video. Yeah.
So I said, yo, do you realize this is South Africa? Do you realize that you guys are guests in this country? Do you realize that you should show me the same respect that you showed that white gentleman, because I'm not doing anything illegal in here and I'm giving you my money the same way he gave you your money, and you have an audacity to treat me like I'm just a nobody. So after I said that, the husband now, he proceeds to just get more of an attitude and says, like she said, we don't need your service here. And like she said, you can fuck off. So at this point, they say, leave. And I said, I have no problem leaving. But I will tell you one thing, don't disrespect me. And you guys come to this country and don't show the native people to this country respect. And that's a problem. So now the wife is starting to get annoyed because I'm voicing my opinion and I'm not just going to allow people to talk to me any type of way. She proceeds to go to the front gate and tries to lock me in there, and she wants to now call the police and cause a big scene. So I told her, please don't lock me in here. I'm going to leave, but I'm just letting you guys know this behavior is not acceptable and that you guys are visitors in this country and you can go back to China if you're not going to show us respect. So now I proceed to leave. People in the store are looking. I'm causing a big commotion. I didn't want to cause a commotion. But I want to say this to my brothers and sisters in South Africa. They say this is a rainbow nation, right? That is what they say, rainbow nation. What I'm noticing about this rainbow nation is that a lot of black people happen to be at the bottom of the rainbow. I see the Indians. I see the Chinese people. I see a lot of people doing better than majority of the black people. You do have a few black people here in South Africa that are doing good for themselves, but it's not enough. And what I've seen from living in South Africa is that the Chinese people and the Indian people don't really respect the black people. They don't respect the people of this land. And why I'm voicing this is because I left America to get more respect in South Africa, because this is supposedly our land. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in America where I've had white people tell me to my face, go back to Africa. We don't want you in America. Go back to your country. So when I finally come back to my country, I can't believe to come back home and I'm still dealing with disrespect, but not at the same level as I dealt with in America. But I'm still dealing with disrespect here in South Africa. For me, it's not acceptable. And This is what we do in America. When people disrespect us, when people don't show us respect, we record them. We record them and we call these people out to let them know that we will no longer tolerate any more disrespect. So I plan on doing the same thing. I'm going to go back to that store with you guys, record myself so you can see the store here in PE, so you can see these Chinese people, and we need to boycott this store and remind these Chinese people that this is not their country and that they need to show black people, the native people of this country, the same respect that they show white people. And so I wanted to share that because what I'm noticing in these nicer areas here in Port Elizabeth, that is majority white people. And I realized the reason why she said I don't need your service is because she has white people coming to her store and she really doesn't care if I come or not. But we must remember to show people like this, when they have this respect, that this is not their country. And they must respect you in your country. Because if they don't respect you guys in South Africa, they're going to come here and do the things that they're doing to us black Americans in America. So I plan on going back to this store, showing you guys what happened, and approaching this lady and letting her know that her behavior is not acceptable. So I'll be back with you guys. I'm going to shoot this video and I'm going to show you guys the store, these people who dealt with me, and we need to boycott this store and let them know that it's not acceptable for them to not give us the same treatment and respect that they show others. All right, you guys, I'm out. All right, you guys, I'm at the store, which I told you guys about. Right here, the name of the store is Tasso's Supermarket, and it's on Buffalo Road in Port Elizabeth. This is where I dealt with these people who were really rude and being nasty to me for no reason. But it's all good. I'm going to show you these people. We're going to go in there and ask them. I'm just going to ask them, yo, why can't I get a thank you? And you guys for yourself can see how nasty these people are for yourself. All right, let's check it out. Hello, sir. You remember me the other day? Do you remember me? I was just coming to ask you. I was the customer the other day when I was asking you guys why can't I get a thank you? I just wondered, why did you guys tell me to fuck off? I'm just trying to figure out why they told me to fuck off, and now they still don't want to talk to me. I was just trying to figure out why.
Sincerely, this was very hard to watch. Even here in Kenya, I'm gonna tell you this. The best places, the good highlands, the places which are most fertile in Kenya, up to date, are occupied by white people. And if a black person is seen walking in an African country where these settlers, where these white people are living, they are seen as thieves. I'm not saying anything, but it's true what the brother said. Africans, we've given the best to people who are foreigners, but to the people who are the inhabitants, the local people, are given the worst. The brother said in South Africa, which is a rainbow nation, the black people, the local people, are given the least. Why? In my house, you can't put me to be the least. This is black people's house. South Africa is a black people's house. Is an African place. At least if you can't, at least show everyone equal opportunity. This Chinese lady was outright disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. I wonder if she would do that to a white person just because somebody is holding a black skin. If you do that in China, it would be understandable. Imagine the audacity of doing this in South Africa. It's mind-blowing, man. It's really mind-blowing. I can't imagine what these people are doing right now. it's just too much. In Kenya, whatever this guy is saying is true. It's true. It's true. Even Africans themselves will insult fellow Africans in order to please a white person. I have seen it. It has been done to me. It has been done to me and my partner. Myself, I just didn't record it. They'll worship the white person. They will even throw you away, catch you and throw you outside the window just to please the white person. No, that is not humanitarian thing. Human beings are of value. At least if you can't respect me in your country, respect me in my country. Respect me in my house. I won't tolerate disrespect in my house. It shouldn't be. These people did the wrong thing as per the law. They did the wrong thing as per the law. You can't just tell somebody to, I don't want to speak the words off. They've done nothing. They've done just because they're black. Why? Why is that? Really? If Cyril Ramaphosa was to walk into this store, would they push him away? Would they? It's not like Cyril Ramaphosa is different from this guy. Cyril Ramaphosa happens to be the president, but he's African. He's just African like any other person. And this has to end. So, I think we need to look at the history and how this racism in South Africa has cultivated itself to what is happening today. And then let's see what can be the solution to end these kind of problems. So let's catch up. Let's talk about racism in South Africa, what you need to know and what you are not told outside there. Yeah. So, South Africa is a nation renowned for its stunning landscapes and diverse cultures, and has also grappled with the persistent specter of racism throughout its history. If there's a country in Africa which really faces or faced a lot of racism and against black people, is South Africa. Till date, it has still not ended. And it seems that people who perpetrate racism are always evolving from one race to another, from one individual to another, from one continent to another. One time it is the USA, another time it is the people from Europe, another time it's the people from Asia, the Chinese. So the roots of racial profiling in South Africa trace back to the era of apartheid, a system that institutionalized segregation and discrimination, you know. However, the issue of racism extends beyond the borders of South Africa and resonates across the African continent. So we are going to delve in the historical underpinnings and proposing ways to address this complex societal challenge of racism as it is facing Africans in USA. You know, African Americans, when they're in Africa, they're not seen as African Americans, they're seen as Africans. And so an African American was racially profiled. So because the Chinese saw them as an African, they didn't know it was an African American. Have a look. Historical context, something we need to understand is this. We need to go back to the history of why, how. Why and how. We have to know why and how. Okay. The struggle against racism in South Africa is intertwined with the dark chapters of apartheid, a policy that legalized racial segregation that endured for almost 5 decades, from 1948 to 1944. During this period, the black majority faced systemic discrimination, economic disparities, and political marginalization. The impact of apartheid is not confined to South Africa alone. It echoes in the broader African context, where various nations have grappled with the legacies of colonialism and racial injustices. The current situation after the historical situation, we've seen that segregation based on race started in 1948. It took 50 years till 1944, when South Africa became an independent nation, is when it saw the apartheid deconstitutionalized from the South African Constitution. So what is the current situation today? Despite the end of apartheid and the establishment of a democratic South Africa, racial tension persists. Instances of racial profiling, discrimination, and inequality continue to mar the nation's progress towards true unity. Systemic challenges, economic disparities, and unequal access to opportunities contribute to the perpetuation of racial division. While South Africa has made a significant stride, the shadows of the past linger, demanding a concerted effort to dismantle the remaining vestiges of racism. Yeah, this is something that Julius Malema is really working on, and I'm really sorry for the brother, African-American brother who faced this. And this is something that is normal in South Africa, but it's something which shouldn't be normal, but it's normal. Sometimes the abnormal becomes the normal, and the normal becomes the abnormal, you know. So how can Africans, or rather how can this African government address racism? Here's what I have to say. To tackle the issue of racism in South Africa, a multifaceted approach is necessary. Firstly, fostering open dialogue and education about the historical roots of racism can help create awareness and understanding among diverse communities. You know, initiatives that promote inclusivity, diversity, and cultural appreciation can bridge gaps and build a sense of shared identity. Additionally, policy reforms aid at addressing economic inequalities and ensuring equitable opportunities for all citizens are crucial. Implementing measures to counteract systemic racism in institutions and promoting representation across all sectors of society can contribute to the dismantling of the structural barriers that perpetuate racial disparities. Community-led initiatives such as workshops, forums, and grassroots movements can play a pivotal role in promoting empathy and dismantling stereotypes that are based on racism. You know, encouraging collaboration between different racial and ethnic groups foster a sense of unity and shared responsibility to combat racism in South Africa, you know. So we have to conclude this. So South Africa's journey towards overcoming racism is an ongoing process that requires collective effort and commitment. By acknowledging the historical context, addressing systemic inequalities, and fostering open dialogue, the nation can pave way for a future where diversity is celebrated and equality prevails through a united front against racism. South Africa can emerge as a beacon of hope and inspiration for the world, demonstrating that transformation and reconciliation are possible even in the face of complex and challenging history. Yeah, if we come together and we try and do what I've just explained, these are things that have been implemented in other countries and we've seen them work. They are not things from nothing. There's things that have worked somewhere else. So if we can implement this, we will see a breakdown of this segregation based on race, based on skin color. Because I believe I have a good skin, I have good hair. God gave me this. Why would I want to turn into a white person? Why would I want to turn into a white person? So that's the end of the video today. Kindly subscribe to the channel. Support me on Patreon. Like the video. I will so much appreciate. See you in the next one. Do subscribe, okay?